Hello everyone, Ben here from Themeco. Welcome to another tips and tricks series. In this series, you'll learn how to implement overlapping content in the content builder. Now, let me direct your attention to this area right here, and you'll see Spider-Man reading, which is kind of weird. But don't let that distract you from the fact that this image is overlapping the section above it. And that is a classic textbook example of overlapping content. Now let me show you how to implement it. So go to the builder, and prior to creating this video, I have already plotted out my sections and my elements. The first thing you need to do is to select the element that will do the overlapping. And in this case, it's this image right here. Then go to margins, click the first button, which is unlinked on the link sides options. Then we are only concerned with the top margin right here. So let's give it a value, or a negative value of 150. And if you ask why 150, this is the perfect value that I have predetermined prior to creating this video. So there you have it. Very easily, simply assigning a negative value gives us the overlapping effect. So let us expand this example a bit. So instead of just overlapping the section above it, let's make this image overlap the section below it as well. Kind of like this. So to implement that, select the image again, then on the bottom margin give it a negative value, and this time we will give it a negative value of okay, let's just give it 150. And you'll see that we have a problem here. Instead of the image overlapping the section, what is happening is the opposite. Now to solve that, we need to give the z-index value of section 2. Section 2 is the value is the section that contains the image. We need to give its z-index value, this thing right here, a value that is greater than the z-index of section 3. Now let's find out what the z-index value of section 3 is. So clicking on section 3, we'll see that it has a value of 2, which is greater than the z-index of section 2. Now click on section 2 and give it a value of at least 3, and we'll just use 3. Okay, and you see it solves the problem. The image is now overlapping the section. This example shows you how to do overlapping content on individual elements. But what if you want to do something like this, where you overlap an entire container that contains several elements inside it to the section above it? Now, as you might have guessed, the solution is still to use negative margins. But the question now is, where do you put it? To answer that, let's head on to the builder. So in this example, the container that I mentioned in earlier is a column. So the first thing you need to do is to select the row that contains that column. Then go to margin, and just like before, give it a negative value, and I've determined negative 300 is perfect. Okay, so that's how simple it is. And you might be asking, why did I assign it to the row instead of just on the column? And the reason is simple. There's no option in the builder to set margins to columns, so we need to put it on the row. Now, up to this point, the examples I've shown you involve overlapping content in a vertical motion, or you can say vertical overlapping content. But what if you want the overlap to occur sideways or horizontally, like this? Now, using negative margins is still the way to go, but it's a bit trickier, and I'll cover that in my next video, so watch out for it. Okay, so this concludes this video. If you like it, share it with your team and subscribe to our channel. But don't share this with your competitors and your clients.